For centuries, Cleopatra has been remembered as the ultimate Egyptian queen, the woman of the Nile, the symbol of ancient Egypt's beauty and power. But what if everything you think you know about her is wrong? Because the truth is shocking. Cleopatra was not Egyptian, not by blood, not by ancestry, and the real story of who she was and why the world still gets it wrong reveals one of the biggest misconceptions in history. Cleopatra VII, the Cleopatra, was not born from Egyptian lineage. She belonged to the Ptolemaic Dynasty, a foreign ruling family that traced its roots back to Macedonia in northern Greece. Her ancestor, Ptolemy I Soter, was one of Alexander the Great's generals. When Alexander died in 323 BCE, his empire fractured, and Ptolemy seized Egypt, establishing a Greek kingdom that lasted almost 300 years. Despite ruling Egypt, the Ptolemies stayed fiercely Greek. They lived in Greek palaces, worshipped Greek gods, followed Greek customs, and even intermarried within their own family to preserve their bloodline. They barely interacted with native Egyptians, and astonishingly, none of them bothered to learn the Egyptian language. For nearly 3 centuries, Egypt was Greek on the throne, but Egyptian only in name.
The translation of this temple text confirms the lineage, Your Majesty.
So the pharaohs did originate from the south.
And then came Cleopatra. Unlike her ancestors, she embraced the land she ruled. She learned Egyptian, becoming the first Ptolemaic ruler in history to speak the local language. She didn't stop there. She studied philosophy, astronomy, politics, economics, and she spoke as many as 9 languages fluently, a skill unmatched by most rulers of her era. Cleopatra saw Egypt not as a foreign possession, but as her home. Popular movies and paintings show Cleopatra as a stunning Egyptian goddess, but historical evidence tells a different story. Cleopatra's true likeness comes from the coins minted during her lifetime. They show a woman with unmistakably Greek features, a sharp nose, a strong jawline, and the traditional Macedonian hairstyle. She wasn't defined by her beauty. Ancient writers described her real power, her intelligence, her voice, her presence, a charisma so strong that men of the ancient world were captivated not by her face, but by her mind.
We are agreed then. Let this treaty signify the strength of our alliance. Rome will ensure the prosperity of these lands.
Cleopatra ruled in one of the most dangerous political climates in history. Rome was expanding rapidly, consuming kingdoms one by one. Cleopatra knew Egypt would be next. Her alliances with Julius Caesar and later Mark Antony weren't romantic fairy tales. They were brilliant political strategies to protect her kingdom. She secured Egypt's independence for as long as she could, using diplomacy, economics, and precise political calculation.
Hold the line! Push them back! Victory for Rome!
But everything changed after the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE. Mark Antony and Cleopatra were defeated by Octavian, the future Emperor Augustus. With Rome closing in, Cleopatra faced an impossible choice: live as a humiliated prisoner or die as a queen. Ancient accounts claim she used an asp, a venomous snake, and to end her life. But many historians now believe a fast-acting poison was more likely. Whatever the method, Cleopatra chose dignity over captivity.
Behold the legacy of Augustus, the man who brought peace to our republic and glory to Rome.
After her death, Octavian needed to justify his war and consolidate his power, so Rome rewrote the story. Cleopatra became the seductive foreign witch who corrupted Antony. Her intelligence was erased. Her political brilliance was twisted into manipulation. For centuries, Roman propaganda dominated Western history, and the image of Cleopatra as an exotic Egyptian temptress became the version the world accepted. The myth survived all the way into modern times. Hollywood cemented it, especially in the 1963 film starring Elizabeth Taylor. The eyeliner, the gowns, the gold, everything screamed Egyptian queen. But that image was a fantasy, built from centuries of misinformation and artistic imagination. The truth was never hidden, it was simply ignored.
By the grace of Ptah and Isis, these rituals secure our future. We are the children of the Nile.
And here lies the irony. Even though Cleopatra was Greek by blood, she became one of the most Egyptian rulers her kingdom ever had. She took part in native religious ceremonies. She portrayed herself as the reincarnation of the goddess Isis. She understood the rituals, listened to the priests, helped stabilize the economy, and gained genuine support from the Egyptian people. Cleopatra may not have been born Egyptian, but she chose to be Egyptian in every way that mattered. Cleopatra was not Egyptian, but she became the most Egyptian queen her dynasty ever knew. Her story is a reminder that history is often far more complex than legend, and truth can be more powerful than the myths we've been told. If you want to uncover more hidden truths from history, follow and stay tuned for the next episode.